Let me just turn up a bit. See if anything different's coming out. We can test it after. Right, let's begin. I'm going to start off by saying this. The 28 attacks. This is what I'm reading. All right. I'll put it up. You can see it behind me in a little while. But this is what I'm reading. And I find this quite strange, really. Not strange, but, you know, I think they're taking liberties, these police. I really think they're taking liberties with their account, yeah, of the statistics that they're saying or making a representation that they're being attacked. Listen to me, it's quite clear to me what's going on here. All right? The police are abusing the situation in many ways. Obviously, they stand as the law enforcers that maintain public order for the public's interest. But is that really what they're doing? This is my question to myself, and I'm posing it to you guys as well. The police play a role. It's like a game they play, all right? Whereas they're supposed to be seen in the public as, you know, being people of honor, pride. So they're people of courtesy. They're people to show a lot of respect. But I find my encounters with the police, and that's any of them, I have to add, any of them that I encounter. And you guys know that I encounter them quite often, to be quite honest. Now I'm just staying indoors, looking after my family, same time looking for a job, but I'm trying not to get involved with them. And even though I'm trying my very hard not to go out and get involved in them, that's not to say I'm staying in. I've got to go out. I've got children that I've got to cater for. I'm responsible for a family, so I've got to go out. I've got to go out with them at times as well, like to the park. In the video, there's a video on the screen there. You saw, or from the video you realised that I was just taking pictures of my family, and some police were called out. They came, and it was their attitude. I focused on their high attitude. That's why I highlighted it on the video. All right? They were very incivil, meaning their attitude stinks. All right? I don't know how they're supposed to communicate with people on that first encounter with people, and their aggression and what they have to say and how they say it. It's not needed and it's not called for, but I always say, and I'm gonna keep on saying, it's obviously in their training. Let me read some information that I found on the internet. It's a list of cases of police brutality in the United Kingdom. And this is for England. There's Northern Ireland, Dumfries conflict, but we won't go into that. We'll just deal with England. In 1936, the Battle of Cable Street was a major clash between the police, who were attempting to protect a rally by Oswald Mosley's British Union of Fascists, and about 20,000 anti-fascist protesters. Mounted police charged at the crowd, and many of the arrested demonstrators reported harsh treatment at the hands of the police. Police were among the 175 people injured in the confrontation. Now, these things are clear. that was in 1936 on a particular battle. People were protesting for whatever reasons, and obviously the police were sent there by whoever, their commander, the politicians, whoever sent the police there to maintain some kind of order. And the police arrived there, and what the police done was charge. Now, why would they do that? Why would they charge at the crowd? It's really simple. This is their way to maintain order. When they're with their entourage, their associates, their gang, the rest of the tyrants, yeah, that are on their level. Because remember, you have some high-level tyrants, middle, and so forth. When these tyrants are together with their numbers, they are like a Borg, obviously. They are doing the same thing. They've got the same concept, the same idea, moving together at the same time. It's all a strategic thing for them, but it's like one heartbeat. They're all doing it at the same time. Togetherness. All right, so that's why I call them like the Borg from the show I used to watch called Star Trek. That's what they seem like to me. So they'll charge at these people, and many of the, like it says, the demonstrators reported harsh treatment, not nice treatment. Not, okay, can you come over here, please, sir, and can you stop doing this silliness? Not that treatment. Harsh treatment, hard talking, hard shouting, stern behavior, stern action, physicality, over the top force. That's what that was. Let me continue. 1974, the death of Kevin Gately. Kevin Gately was a second-year student at mathematics at the University of Warwick who died as a result of the head injuries received in the Red Lion Square disorders in London. He was the first person to die in a public demonstration in Great Britain for at least 55 years since the British Army. I won't continue on with that story, but that's who Kevin Gately was. Occurred during the Red Lion Square disorders. Gately and other students were marching with the International Marxist group when the latter tried to break a police cordon separating the demonstration from a National Front march. So the National Front was obviously the NF, a far right fascist political party in the United Kingdom. It is currently led by Tony Martin, a minor party. It has never had its representative elected to the British or European parliaments, although it gained a small number of local councillors through deflections. No more. Just a little summarization, a summary of who the National Front was. The International Marxist group was a Trotskyites group in Britain between 1968 and 1982. It was the British section of the Fourth International. It had around 1,000 members and supporters in the late 1970s. In 1980s, it had 682 members. By 1982, when it changed its name to the Socialist League. Enough about them. But there you go again. That's two I've just read out to you. One was a rally by Oswald Mosley's British Union of Fascists, all right, and anti-fascists, all right. The other was Kevin Gately at the Red Lion Square. Here's another one, 1974, same year. The Windsor Free Festival was broken up by police. Nicholas Abbey and others successfully sued the chief constable for creating a riotous situation in which the Thames Valley police attacked the plaintiffs. Windsor Free Festival was a British free festival held in Windsor Great Park from 1972 to 1974, organised by some London commune dwellers, notably Abu Dwyer and Sid Roy. I hope I pronounced the names correctly. It was in many ways the forerunner of the Stonebridge Free Festival. all right? So, Windsor Free Festival was broken up by police. Nicholas Albury, social inventor and author, was the instigator or coordinator of a variety of projects aimed at an improvement to society, often known as the Alternative Society, and others successfully sued the police for creating a riotous situation in which the Thames Valley Police attacked plaintiffs. Another one, 1979, Blair Peach. For all who don't know, Clement Blair Peach was a New Zealand teacher who died after an anti-racism demonstration in Southall, Middlesex, England. A campaigning activist against the far right, in April 1979, Peach took part in an anti-Nazi League demonstration in Southall against National Front elections. I won't go on because the rest is quite clear. So he was fatally assaulted by an officer at the Special Patrol Group, SPG, during an anti-racism demonstration in London. A police investigation into the SPG found that they had a catch of unauthorized weapons. The Metropolitan Police reached out an out-of-court settlement with Peach's family in 1989. The police eventually published their internal report in 2010, concluding that Peach had probably been killed by an officer, but officers within that unit had refused to identify the culprit. Look at that. That just means that they're helping each other defend themselves in a case where they've obviously killed someone. They've obviously killed someone because it wasn't an illegal killing where they've got no fault, yeah, no blame. They're not liable. They've killed someone. They know that they have. Their group and colleagues know that they have, but they wasn't willing to put the culprit up front to let us all know, or let the public know who he was. That was defending them. They still do that to this very day, and that was in 1979, Blair Peach. All right, these things, these corruptions still go on to this very day because they cannot help it. They how can I put it? I'm going to put it quite simply. The police, within their own corporation, they think that they are above the law. There's no if, buts, or maybe. These police think that they're above the law. You can obviously tell this. And the young black men of this time, this present time that we're living in, they're the ones that are suffering the most. I, as a young black man, was going through the strife of encountering these guys at a very young age. That hasn't stopped. That was 30 years ago, right? We're in the millennium now, whereas it's the 21st century. Things and ways, yeah, that means style and fashion, has to change. If it doesn't change, there is going to be a massive effect, and it's going to turn out not to the police's and the politicians' best interest. That's my opinion. That's not me instigating nothing. That's my opinion. And I'm saying it very clearly so no one can try and twist my words. All right? I don't think the future is going to be bright for those forces. The people that are at the top of their game now, in power, I don't think that's going to be right in the future. Their gain right now is fame and notoriety for whatever they do while they're in power. I say all the people that are leaders of this political party, whatever it is at the time, I say they want to make a name. They want to have had a name for themselves, so they do outrageous things while they're in power. Enough about that. The police on the whole, are very, very, very serious criminal squad, a criminal fraternity, a criminal gang. The ones that are known criminals are nothing. They're just the copiers of the real ones, which wear the uniform. So I say tyrants in uniforms. I say these guys that walk on the road pertaining to have our best interest at heart, bullshit. BS to the max. 100%. These guys are not for us. They're for themselves. A lot of them say that it's just a job. It is just a job. But what is the intention when you first join the police force? Is it really to serve and protect the public? Is that really why a lot of these young, fierce-looking guys join the force? Then you got these timid-looking guys. They're also in the force. Look like little babies, like they can't smash ants or step on ants and kill them properly. Them guys, those are the ones that you want to watch out for, because they try to get in top office. They're not the brawlers. They're not the fierce ones that go out there and try to hurt you physically, destroy you mentally, put you in jail for nothing maliciously. They're not them ones. They do these things in the top room, in the office upstairs. They do the writing. They instigate what's going on through documentation. That's how they get their actions and their pleasures and desires across to the lower police officers like constables or sergeants. So these guys who look timid and soft, who want to get to the top, be careful of them guys. Those guys are very scary. I'm letting you know that now, because I've seen them in action. I've been in police station loads of times. I know what they're dealing with. All right, I'm getting carried away. Let me continue what I've got to talk about today. Corruption, IOPC, corruption and abuse of power. There's obviously something going on, right? That the IOPC understand, Independent Office for Police Conduct. They obviously understand something's going on, because they've got an organisation to police, or supposed to police. Whether that goes on or not, that's for you to decide. Whether you get in a position where you have to make a complaint to the police and then appeal, that's something that an individual has to experience for their own self. Me personally, again, you must know, you guys who have been subscribers or have watched some of my videos, yeah, know the performance I have to give. It's not a performance for YouTube views or votes, it's not for that, yeah? The reason I put the videos on, I got to make it very, very clear, because I got some comments in the description box that makes me know that some of the guys and some of the people, let me put it like that, all right, some of the people that watch the channel, all right, I think they're a bit slow, dim-witted, retarded, have a problem with thinking properly, with common sense or logic, because I look at some of their comments and it's ridiculous, it's ludicrous what they're writing. I think those people are just downright trolls, you know. If you saw them on the road, you'd step on them like ants, because they're, you know what I mean, they're worse than a piece of fucking shit, to tell you the truth. And the comments that they come with on this like in the comments box down below, you have to wonder if they're real people understand what's going on. It's just biased robots. Police's friends, security's friends, you know, social workers' friends, family acquaintances. Because the way they're defending them is like they haven't wronged. I've put the videos on because they have wronged. Don't get the thing twisted. I don't care if they're your brother, sister, uncle, aunt, cousin, grandma, granddad. I don't really care about that. If they're wrong, it's really simple. You might not like it. You might disagree with what I'm saying. But if they're wrong, they're just fucking wrong. It's really simple. They're just wrong, all right? Corruption and abuse of power. IOPC understands that there's something going on in the system that is not right. Police forces must refer allegations of serious corruptions to us. We then assess whether it is appropriate for us to carry out an investigation. There is now a clear requirement in law that police forces must refer us allegations that someone has abused their position for a sexual purpose or to pursue an inappropriate emotional relationship. In 2012, the Independent Police Complaints Commission We worked jointly with the Association of Chief Police Officers to produce a report on police officers and staff who abuse their powers to sexually exploit or abuse people. The report was a first step in understanding the scale and nature of the problem and the way forward. The report and accompanying guidelines for referring such matters to us call for the police service to do everything in its power to prevent abuse. Yeah, right. Identify abuse of power as soon as possible. Are these people stupid that are making these guidelines? Are they a little bit illogical? Not got much common sense. Because do everything in its power to prevent abuse. What you need to do in your power to prevent abuse is get rid of all of the bad apples. So you're only going to be left with a few good police. We know you can't do that, because if you do get rid of everybody that's bad, there's going to be hardly any policemen left, and you can't do that. Who's going to be acting as fighting crime then? There's going to be no one to do that, because everybody's bad. A bad apple, they've probably been put in jail, been given a sack, or you know what I mean. Something's just they've dropped off the scale in some kind of way. They've done some kind of shit in their policing force, and they've been caught. That's everybody. That's everybody, because everybody's been taught the same way. All right. Identify abuse of power as soon as possible. Well, when they walk out of the police station, that's it. They've already started to abuse their power, because they've got that shield on and that uniform, that feel that they think they're protected by that shield and that uniform. All right, deal with the abuse of power effectively. Learn lessons. Listen, I've had made numerous complaints to the police, and what I understand is that nothing ever gets done. The repetition of the letters, or the nearest available letter, document form to give to a complainee, is just the same as the one before. It's no different. All of them are the same. They come with the same kind of concept, the same kind of size letter, the number of paragraphs, and they tell you what they're going to do about the lessons that they've learned, and they're going to speak to the officer who is the officer at the case matter. They're going to do all those foolishness, and nothing's going to get resolved. Best bet is, like what Crime Bodge says, go for all those legalities first, and make sure you try to do everything possible, yeah? So that you seem to be trying to get some kind of remedy. Do all that first. Go for the police complaint procedure, go through the appeal procedure, then just write a letter to the police commissioner telling that it doesn't matter what you say, we're going to court, we've got to sort this out in court. And tell them, or state to them, the right by law, or the correct way that the crime that they've committed, the law says it goes. Make sure you tell them that correctly. I don't really like the IOPC, because to me they're just old police officers that are no longer police officers. Let me move on. I've already mentioned just now that the police think they're above the law, and I think that they do think they're above the law to the highest degree. This is a news extract from the BBC. Home Office correspondent by the BBC, Danny Shaw. He says things like this. Let's hear what he says. I haven't read this, so I don't know what he's saying. There is no person or organisation that has as much potential power over us as the police. They can arrest us, stop us in the streets and search us, fingerprint us, and take our DNA. They are allowed to retain some of our personal information on their computer databases and access details held by other organizations on request. They can monitor our movements on CCTV and trace driver records via a car number plate recognition system known as ANPR, ANPR, I don't know. Details of our phone records can be obtained, and with the Home Secretary's approval, phone calls, emails may be intercepted. Sometimes, police are permitted to detain us in custody for up to 4 days, 7 in terrorism cases. Wow, look at that. That's how much power these boys have. Look, determine the length of conditions of bail while they carry out an investigation. We know all about that. And in some cases, caution or charge us with a criminal offence. My gosh, is that the powers that they've got? Who would have thought, eh? In addition to all that, officers have equipment. Oh, they have equipment. Handcuffs, baton, CS spray, tasers, firearms that can be deployed when necessary, proportionate and reasonable in the circumstances to do so. So if I talk too hard then, or you know, you guys, sometimes you photographers, you auditors, you know, sometimes you encounter police. You know, in America, yeah, in America like that, you can be gone for saying the wrong thing, for taking the wrong picture, for taking the wrong picture of a certain thing, for saying a wrong word or having a wrong attitude or having your hand in your pocket. They can blow your brains out in America. They can do that really fast. And guess what? When they do that, do you think that they're going to go to prison? I don't think that they're going to go to prison. Not at all. Do you think they're going to go to prison? Listen, man, it's this newspaper that I saw. This is what this is all about. This newspaper, yeah? Shocking rise in police assaults. They're going on like the police, right? This is assault on the police is anything new. I tell you what's happened. The assault on the police is just, you know, you got warriors now that are on the road. Remember in America, in the era of the cowboy times, 1800s, yeah? When everybody was able to have a gun holster with a gun in it and ammunition, bullets all around the waist, because that meant, or that in those times, anything goes. Anything goes. The laws was limited, yeah? The laws of the land, that is, was limited. There wasn't as much. So it was just a different time, different, the dynamics was completely different at that time. At that time, you could walk out your house and get shot by a stray bullet, like now. Right now, all right? That's because the increase in abuse from the police to the youths. I say the youths, but predominantly the black youths, all right? This is what I'm speaking of. This is what I'm showing people. And I get some thumbs down, that's fine. It just shows that there's various people or a variety of people watching my content, all right? I want you guys to watch my content. I want you to have an opinion about it. But you hate too much sometimes and you don't understand the reason why you're hating. You're looking at this thing biasly by taking the side of the person that you think I'm trying to abuse or violate. I'm not. Or provocate. I'm not. I'm defending me. When you see these videos on my channel, of me especially, having an encounter with a policeman or police people or pigs or uniform or tyrants, snowflakes, whatever you want to call them, I'm defending me. I'm defending myself on how their conduct, their approach, yeah, and on encountering me. I'm of age, so I know what I stand for. It's simple. all right? Over here, let me see. Sometimes police are permitted to detain us in custody for up to 4 days, 7 in terrorism cases, determine the length and condition of bail while they carry out an investigation, and in some cases, caution or charge us in a criminal offence. In addition to all that, officers have equipment, handcuffs, batons, CS spray, tasers, firearms that can be deployed when necessary, proportionate and reasonable in the circumstances to do so. It is quite a list, and it would be surprising, despite the numerous safeguards that are in place to prevent abuse, if on an occasion police officers didn't overstep their powers. He's saying it to you, isn't he? Yeah? Police officers didn't overstep their power. It is quite a list, and it would be surprising, despite the numerous safeguards that are in place